This is Average Joe Rock and Roll. I am Michael J. Rock, and I am joined today by the up-and-comer Australian Cassidy Paris. Hey, Cassidy, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And
Uh,
g'day to all the listeners out there.
yeah, absolutely. You're pretty impressive at such a young age. I got a chance to look through your bio and watch a lot of the stuff that you have on YouTube and stuff like that. And I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Um,
Thank you so much. That's such a kind thing to say, and comments like that really are really encouraging to myself, and I feel like I'm really on a mission here. So when I hear people say things like that, it makes me want to strive to be my personal best, and yeah, I'm really excited about the future and about the future of rock music, and I feel like hopefully I can be that kind of person for the next generation to keep this type of music alive.
so, at what age did you start playing guitar?
Guitar has kind of been in my life since basically I describe to people since I came out of the womb. So my dad is a guitarist in my band, but he's played in bands my entire life. He's currently in a band called Wicked Smile. But yeah, he taught me to play guitar when I was about 5 or 6. I kind of showed an interest from the age of 2. I love telling this story because a lot of the guitarists get like really freaked out, and if anything happened in the future where my child did this, I would probably be really freaked out by this. But I scribbled all over his I think it was a Jackson or a Charvel, and it was a really expensive guitar. And he was like, "Oh my god, she's put permanent marker on my guitar." But that's how he likes to say that I kind of showed interest in the guitar from a young age, and I would kind of bop along to him when he would rehearse to his songs and write songs himself, and I really did show an interest. So yeah, I've been playing guitar for a long time now, and I just love it. I love the bonds that I share with my dad, and it's something great that I will really cherish for the rest of my life.
Yeah, fantastic. So, when did you know you could really sing? I mean, obviously at an early age, you probably were singing anyway, but when did you realize that you could really sing?
I don't know. I asked my question, but I think the main thing for me is to be always learning and to be reminding myself that there's always opportunities to grow. So I will never stand here and say I'm the best thing in the world, because there's always opportunity and growth. And I feel like I really took on that kind of I really wanted to be a singer when I was about 8 or 9. I kind of showed an interest for it. I played Beat It at one of my school talent shows, and a lot of the other people or musicians around me were saying, you got to get into singing, you got to get into vocals. And I would sing around my house, and I loved things like Dio from a young age. So I was a big metal and rock listener. And I feel like people like Dio and people like Hart and Pat Benatar, they were the ones that really inspired me to pick up a microphone and start to sing and take it seriously. But when my good friend Pauline came around to Australia for the first time, and I saw him live, and he kind of showed an interest in my singing, that's when I began to really take lessons and take this seriously and sit down and had the conversation and knew that this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
So who would you say is your biggest influences from a musical standpoint and from a vocal standpoint?
From a musical, my dad's a huge one. And alongside people like Pauline, they've been really big people to, and vocally as well. Pauline is a massive one for me. He's one of the best vocalists I've ever met in my life, and he's just I call him the rock and roll Mozart, because he's absolutely incredible in whatever he does and whatever he produces. Doesn't matter what genre of music it is. And I think there's so many female artists that I listened to growing up. Like I mentioned, Pat Benatar. Now there's people like Lizzie Hale, and I those were the ones that I really grew up with. They were kind of my time. I'm 20 years old, and Lizzie Hale was one that I used to make posters of her in school. So she was a huge one for me. Taylor Momsen, Pretty Reckless is another big one. So yeah, there's a bunch of people.
Yeah, those are some monster bands. I did watch one of your videos where you had a Hailstorm poster on your wall. Um, I've seen Hailstorm, I don't know how many times now, and they're fantastic. Um, so what is your
Yeah. I'm a massive Hailstorm supporter, and I have been since I was like 8 or 9 years old. I remember like their earlier stuff coming out. The Strange Case of was one of my favorite albums of all time, and I remember sitting down in the car every morning with my dad, and on the ride to school we would listen to the album back to front, and by the end of the week we would have finished it. So it's cool to have those kind of memories in the back of my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So you might have already told me this, but when what you just said, but what is your dream collaboration?
there's so many there's so many incredible artists, so it's absolutely difficult to pick. um Lizzie Hale would be a huge one. Like, she's just a monster vocalist, performer, and I love everything about her personality as well. It's so cool to me. And yeah, so I've got to say Lizzie Hale.
Okay. So I had read on your bio where you are part of an organization called Metalheads Against Bullying. So
Correct.
did you want to talk a little bit about that? Because that seemed like a pretty important organization.
For sure. Yeah. I've been working with Metalheads Against Bullying, and I'm an ambassador for them, which is a really cool thing to be able to say. I did experience a handful of bullying in my on my high school journey. People didn't really understand what I was doing in the music scene. In regards to people my age weren't understanding the type of music I was putting out there, the type of music I was listening to. I was always viewed as kind of the outcast. And I kind of just got to a point where I wanted to own that. And I kind of, the negativity and stuff, I wanted to kind of switch it on its head, and kind of make this into a positive thing, and think about how can I actually use my story for the good. So Metalheads Against Bullying approached me, and they said, hey, look, we really, they saw my journey online, and they said, we really sympathized with your story. Do you think you'd be able to become an ambassador for us? And Leaf, the owner of the company, he actually showed up at one of my UK shows last year. So that was really cool to meet him in person, and kind of share our experiences with bullying. And it's been a fantastic, eye-opening experience for me as well, hearing some other people's stories. So yeah, I'm very thankful to have that.
So if people wanted to help with that organization, how would they go about doing that?
Everything's on the Metalheads Against Bullying page. So you can go, I believe they have a website, they have a Facebook page, and they have an Instagram page. So you can follow them on all those socials, and keep up to date with what you can do and how you can help the organization.
Okay. Um, so what is your writing process like?
I actually spoke about this in the interview yesterday. It really does differ depending on the song I'm writing. So Danger, my latest single, was probably one of the easiest songs I've ever written. And it's very rare that one of the easiest songs you ever write is one of your favorite songs that you've ever written. So Danger started off with this kind of darker riff. I sat down and I wrote it, and immediately I knew it was different to music that I'd previously put out. So I sat down with this riff, and it kind of progressed into the chorus. I wrote the chorus second, and I kind of wrote the verses after that, and started off with some lyrics. After I kind of had a general sense of the lyrics, and at the time I was seeing this guy that a lot of people were saying they could see red flags, and my mind kind of chose to omit those red flags, unfortunately. And I think a lot of people go through that in their lives, so a lot of people can relate to this song. I sent it off to my friend Paul, and he added some really cool touches. And yeah, so that's the history and the behind the scenes and the making of Danger. But yeah, it really does depend on the writing process. Sometimes there's times where you'll kind of roll out of bed in the middle of the night because you have this idea that you need to get down into your voice memos, or there's other times where you sit down and have a planned writing session as well.
Yeah. No, fantastic. Yeah, the new track is a really good song. Great riff, very catchy. I'm sure it's going to do well for you. So you've got a new album coming out in
Thank
November.
you so much. And it's a
Yep. Sorry, there's a lag
correct,
here.
correct. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much for the kind words on Data. Yes, yes, yes. That's okay. All good. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a lag because we're in different countries. But yeah, thank you so much for the kind words on Danger. I really appreciate it. I've had an overwhelming amount of support. The video just hit 50,000, over 50,000 views today. So and that's the first single of the debut album. So that's absolutely wild to me that it's been viewed 50,000 times in under a week. That just blows my mind. But the debut album is something that I've been working on. It feels like I kind of describe it to people as it's kind of my middle. It's kind of like a coming of age record. It really is my high school experience and my young adulthood in an album. So I'm really chuffed to have that out there. It feels like a bit of a diary of my life. So it's um as much as I'm so excited to put it out, it's also daunting because that's all my life on one record. So I'm super excited, and I feel like people are really going to enjoy the record. We've worked so hard on it, and there's a bunch of cool songs and tracks in my opinion on the record.
Yeah, they say that the first record you have your entire life to write, and the second one's a tough one because there's pressure now.
Yes, yes, exactly. And yeah, I've already started planning and writing for the second one. So
Okay.
but yeah, my main focus at the moment is the first one.
Yeah. So the new album's out. Is it November 8th? Is that when it's out?
December 8th.
December 8th. Okay. December 8th.
Yes,
And is
yes,
this going to be released on
December.
all different types of formats? Vinyl, CD?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. Everything you can basically think of. At the moment, it's just CD. There is a possibility of vinyl, so fingers crossed that we make a vinyl of it. But yeah, I'm really excited for people to. A lot of people have been asking for like hard copy Cassidy Paris CD or album to come out, and I have previously had EPs, but they completely sold out. So this is the first thing that people can really get their hands on that's a full length. So yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this as such a young artist in the scene, and to be able to fly the flag for not only Australian rock music but rock music in general, and young women in rock music.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a point in time I think where there was a big stigma on, female rock artists. There was almost like an asterisk, and now, with some of the artists that you mentioned,
Mm.
Pat Benatars of the world and the Lizzie Hales, and I don't know if you can see her or not, but I'm wearing a Nita Strauss sweatshirt. And I don't know if you're familiar with
I
her.
can now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, I've met Nita before.
Okay.
She's lovely.
Yeah, yeah, no, she's great. I'm a big Alice Cooper fan, so kind of learned about her through Alice Cooper. But that being said, all of these female artists that have come up through and have blazed these paths, there's no asterisk anymore. When you talk about great guitar players, you talk about Nita Strauss in that same conversation, not as, oh, and by the way, she's a female. It's no, she's a guitar player. And it's kind of like getting rid of that
Yeah,
label.
yeah.
Get rid of that label. You get rid of that label, and then everybody's equal, right? So, um, So you, yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's so many artists like that out there now. And another big one for me growing up was Orianthi. She was a huge one
Oh yeah.
for me because she was an Australian rocker as well. So
Yep.
she was a female that was doing it, but it's quite rare to have your Australian rock musicians because there's this thing called tall poppy syndrome in Australia, and it's basically where Australians don't want to support other Australians until it becomes big in like elsewhere. So it's a bit of a strange saying, but yeah, so that exists in Australia. But Orianthi's done a great job of flying the flag for Australian rock music and females in rock, and I hope to be like her one day and learn from her as much as I can.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible as well. I've seen her a few times. I saw her with the Alice Cooper band, and then I saw her at a charity event. And
Yep.
different type of guitar player than Nita Strauss, but certainly a monster talent for sure. So you've got some shows coming up. It looks like they're all in the UK. Is that correct? You froze up on me there,
We might
Cassidy.
have encountered a little bit of lag. We might have encountered a little bit of lag there.
Yeah. No, I was just asking about your upcoming tour.
Yes, we've got a UK tour. So stoked to be coming back to the UK.
Oh, you dropped out on me there, Cassidy. Uh,
Is that okay?
yeah, no, I can hear you.
I can't see you now. I can hear you, but I can see
Okay,
you.
I can see you and hear you.
Okay, perfect. In regards to the UK tour, I don't know if you caught it any of that, but yeah, I'm so stoked coming back to the UK. It's perfect timing, actually, that we're going to UK prior to the release. It just feels like coming back, and I can't wait to get back over there. It's gonna be absolutely awesome experience. Last time on my first UK tour, everyone made me feel so welcome at each and every show, and I was playing to packed out shows, and it just my first ever show that I played.
Oh, there you are.
There's something strange going on here, that's for sure.
Half a world away, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you caught the tour thing, so I'll explain again. But yeah, I'm super stoked to be back there. It's in the UK. It feels like my second home. Everyone made me feel super welcome last time, so it was an awesome experience, and I feel like it's perfect timing for the album to be out when it is, because it's right after we finish up our tour, so it's a bit of a celebratory album in a way as well, and it feels just very special that I get to do this for when the album is released. Yeah, just it's very exciting.
Any tour dates planned beyond the UK?
We're definitely looking into it. That's something I'm discussing with both the record company and my band at the moment. So yeah, definitely we're looking into coming to. I know a lot of people have been asking for the US and Canada. So we're definitely looking into it. I promise I am advocating for it. I'm not just going back and forth from the UK.
So something that's quite big now in the States are the festivals. That would be a great way for
Yes.
you to get out there if you could get into some of these festivals. There's one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It would be unreal to be able to play some of the festivals. I know you guys have some really really cool ones in the US, and to be able to play on some of those festivals with some of the heavyweights in the industry would just be absolutely unreal.
Yeah, my wife and I every year go to the M3 festival in Maryland. That's a pretty big one. And we also do,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
and that's
also do.
one.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it. You go for
No,
it.
I was gonna say we also do the Monsters of Rock cruise. That's a good one. That's a cruise. That would be a good one to get into.
Yeah, yeah. Monsters of Rock is Yeah, that's one I'm hoping to do in the future. That's for sure. I've the bands that have played on that before, like the lineup next year is absolutely insane. And one of my favorite bands of all time, and I toured with them when they came to Australia last year. Heat is on the bill next year. And they are one of my favorite bands, like Hailstorm. It's Hailstorm, Heat, and a bunch of other artists, but yeah, those are probably like my two favorites. And Heat, as much as they're fantastic world class musicians, they are just the nicest guys ever. And to tour with them was a blessing, and I'm so grateful to be able to have that experience under my belt.
Eric Gronwell was in that band, right?
Yes, yes. Now it's fronted by Kenny Lacremo, and yeah, he's someone that I still speak to this day after being on tour with him, and is just the kindest soul ever. But Eric Grumwall, I have also met Eric, and he's absolutely unreal. My dad's band, Wicked Smile, played a show with Skid Row earlier this year in Australia, which that tour is another thing that is going to be rescheduled. But yeah, because he fell ill, unfortunately. But yeah, he's definitely one of the best singers and performers I've ever seen as well.
Yeah, I know he's had some pretty serious health issues. But I myself have seen Skid Row since he's joined, and I've also seen Skid Row with all the other singers that they had in the band, and I think they finally got the right one. Um, the other ones are okay,
I
uh,
agree. I
but
agree.
Eric Gronwell's he's a great front man. He sings the Sebastian songs to the letter. And hopefully he's healthy, and hopefully he sticks around because I think Skid Row's got a bright future if he stays in that band.
I think so too. When they announced that Eric Cromwell was going to be the singer of Skid Row, it made my heart burst with happiness because I felt like it was just the perfect fit. Eric, I really wanted to see him in a band again as well after the incredible fight. Like he was just absolutely awesome in Heat. So I was so excited to see him in Skid Row as well. And after overcoming the cancer and everything, it was just really cool to see him take on this opportunity and to do some really cool shows and something really cool with the album.
Yeah, for sure. So any other future plans that you have coming up that you want to talk about?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I like I said, touring is definitely a huge thing that's going to come for me in the next couple of years. Fingers crossed. So I'm really hoping to get over to the States. That's the next plan. There'll be new music out as well, but the debut album is out on December 8th, and I couldn't be happier. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's just been an absolute whirlwind. Not only the last week, but since I announced signing with Frontiers Music. It's just been incredible to see the response and have so many people that are on my side and are looking forward to my learning and my growing and on my journey.
So I was impressed by I believe it was your video for Danger. I was reading the comments below, and I noticed under the comments below you were answering each one, which is pretty cool because most people don't do that.
Yes, yeah.
So I remember.
Yeah, well, you know what, like, and I speak about this quite openly a lot. Like, I just I feel like I don't even like calling people my fans, because I feel like there's a sense of disconnect in that word. But I like calling them my family and my friends, because they are really the people that support you the most, and they make you the artist that you are. So it blows my mind every time I see artists not you know, concentrating on forming connections with their fans and listening to them and hearing their stories, and, you know, speaking to them after shows, because it literally is one of my favorite things in the world to do. And yeah, any way I can possibly connect with someone that's overseas, whether that is play a show and speak to them after the show, or connect with them online, I'll go above and beyond.
So two of the people that you've talked about is Lizzie Hale and Ronnie James Dio, and I remember a
Yeah.
story of, and you probably heard this story, but you know, Lizzie Hale tells a story about being very young and opening up for Ronnie James Dio, and there was a moment after the
Yeah.
show where you know, I think they were in a trailer, possibly looking out over, you know, a bunch of fans waiting for autographs or whatever, and um, you know, Ronnie says, "See all those people out there?" She said, "Yep." He says, "Remember one thing, you're not going to remember one of them. Every one of them is going to remember you, and you got to treat them that way."
Exactly, exactly, and I couldn't agree more. I actually have heard Lizzie Hale speak about that. I think that was not long before Ronnie passed. If I'm not correct, if I'm correct on that.
Right.
But yeah, that just um such wise words, because it's so important for us to be able to take that on board, and you know, form those connections and listen to their fans, and, you know, listen to their people that, you know, creating this amazing journey and amazing life for them. I am so grateful to the people that are on my side, because they've enabled me to, you know, really do in life what I aspired to do as a young girl. You know, when I was 5 or 6, all I could dream about was doing what I am now. So I'm forever in debt to them.
Yeah. No, that's great. You so far you've got an incredible story, and you're going to continue to grow on that incredible story. And you know, unfortunately, we are coming to a close here. It's been great having you on today. You know, maybe when the new record's out, if you want to come back on and discuss that, that would be great. If you'd like to do that, I'd love to have you back. I lost you
It
again.
just seems to be jumping out on us in the right time, doesn't it?
Right, right. Yeah. No, like what I was saying was, you know, if you wanted to come back on after the new album is out and talk about that, I'd love to have you back. It certainly has been.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We'll tee up a time, and we'll make it work. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the show now, and I really appreciate all the people that are listening in to a young artist that has this dream to, you know, keep this music out to me as well. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And with that, I am Michael J. Rock. I am a rock fan. Enough said.